Ladies, gentlemen, Shamrock Nation, welcome to the first episode of the House of Hammers. This is something we're going to do to showcase some of the finest employees we have here at Catholic Central and outside of these walls, fire breathers, people that pour back into the kids, and just people who've made a difference here at Catholic Central. I have with me today a very special guest, Director of Community Outreach, Mr. Tony Jones. We hired Tony a couple years ago, and he's been fantastic in this school. He's got some great opportunities. So I want to kick off this first episode with one of the people that are in my personal circle who has really inspired me as well. So Tony, welcome to being the first guest on the House of Hammers. I know you're excited. Tell me a little bit about your journey and how you got here to Catholic Central.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me. Definitely an honor to be a guest and to hear that I'm the first one to kickstart this thing. But to answer your question, my journey. So born and raised in Flint, Michigan. So about 45 minutes from here. Went to Grand Blanc High School. I know you love to give me a hard time about you guys actually winning the state championship my senior year. So Catholic Central has always kind of been on my radar. You know, I've always but had an appreciation, for this place. Obviously, the faith component. But just another institution, that truly values, the well-roundedness, the development, in young men. So just providing, a great education, and then also, complementing it with great athletic programs as well. So my journey here, previously I was at the University of Michigan, where I was the Director of High School Relations. So it was fortunate to build a lot of, contacts and, different relationships, and had a mutual friend that obviously was very connected here at Catholic Central, and he kind of knew, the different transitions that I was going through, in life as far as building a family and just kind of, my own career, journey. And, he mentioned, would I be interested, in coming to Catholic Central? And I was like, absolutely. I knew that, how special this place was, and, wanted to at least have a conversation. And that was in 2021. And I can say it's definitely been, everything that I was expecting and more.
We talk a lot about culture here at Catholic Central, and I think you've been a lot of places where you've dealt with high levels of culture, whether it be Grand Blanc, whether it be your playing career at Northwestern, whether it be you dipping your toe in the NFL and being an NFL alum. What did you fall in love with when you first got to Catholic Central in regards to the culture?
I think the people and the standard, just the way of doing things, and the dedication, to one another. I think that's, what truly stood out, is the brotherhood. A lot of people talk about, culture, brotherhood, but it's very evident, here that it's lived, and you can see it, you can hear it, and you can feel it. Words taken, directly from you. But I think that's, what's really, stood out to me, and what I'll definitely, miss most about this place.
Tony would always talk about turning Catholic Central into wide receiver university, and he would constantly remind me on the sidelines during games if we had a big play from a wide receiver, a touchdown catch. And I think I really saw a difference in our kids with you, because you knew how to meet them where they were at. You could talk to them about certain things, whether it be music, whether it be footwear, just a myriad of things. And I think that's what I love most about having you here as part of our Shamrock family is you jumped in with both feet. I think you were vulnerable with the kids, and I think that's important in an all-male environment for kids to see that. As you start to move on into a new position, which I'll let you talk a little bit about, what do you think that you can take from Catholic Central into your new role?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is the school's motto, of goodness, discipline, and knowledge. That was something that really attracted me, to this place, and that is definitely something that, I'll take with me, first and foremost, being a good person, everywhere that I go, and doing my best to have an impact, continuing to be disciplined, preach discipline in my daily life, and then of course, to continue to, grow in my pursuits, being, a knowledgeable young man, and hoping to, instill that in, every young man that I come in contact with as well. But definitely the school's motto of, teach me goodness, discipline, knowledge, I'll forever take with me.
This is your first opportunity to talk about this new endeavor, which I know you're excited about, and I know that we had a lot of great conversations, which I've always told you I really appreciate the bond that we've built. Why don't you tell everybody what this new role is and how you plan to attack it?
So the new role that I'll be taking on is the Assistant Director of Player Personnel at the University of Alabama, working with their football program, just managing the roster, building relationships with student athletes and their families, and really kind of, putting out the vision, in the picture, that this is a place that you'll come to, to excel, not only on the field, but off the field as well. So again, just building those relationships and just being genuine, being authentic, and building a championship football roster.
You talk so much about building relationships and being a good person, and I know you're strong in your faith, and we've always talked about how God doesn't make mistakes and he pulls you in certain directions for all the right reasons. I know you have a young family. Is this going to hurt the chances of Catholic Central getting your son here to come to CC with you being down in Alabama?
Not at all. I mean, the opportunities are limitless, and regardless, where my son ends up going for high school, I would look for, the same things, that are offered here at CC, the faith-filled environment, being around good people, being around like-minded, individuals, those are things that are very important to us. And, my son was born while I was here at CC, so I already feel like, he's already got the Shamrock blood, running through him.
Well, you're always going to be part of this family, and I don't want to keep things too serious, but I do want to say people like Tony are the kind of guys that we want to put around our young men. Not everybody has to stay at Catholic Central their whole career. I think people sometimes feel like it's such a great place that they're sometimes offended if you leave to go do something bigger and better. But I've noticed your journey. I've really enjoyed getting to know you. And every place you've gone, you seem to level up a little bit. But what I've noticed about you is even though we've been through some fires together, you've always kept an even keel. You always keep that mindset of just making sure that you breathe a little bit and that you understand the situation. Where did you get that from?
My mom. I've got a very similar temperament, as my mom. She's always just pretty even keel, never too high, never too low, and just try to, like I said earlier, kind of remain true to yourself. And I feel like, good things, happen to those that, have a kind and genuine heart. So yeah, I can't credit, my upbringing and, my mother enough, for how she raised me. And, obviously I'm, the furthest thing from perfect, but I'm, very appreciative, for the way that she raised me.
I think people also can feel through this interview, like you said, we talk a lot about hearing culture, seeing culture, and feeling culture. You can see why Tony was such a great fit at this place, and I know he's going to continue to come back. Hopefully there's a few guys here. At some point he's going to end up recruiting. But beyond that, I know that he's built some great relationships here. This is where I'm going to kind of turn the House of Hammers into a little bit different topic because it's something Tony and I always joke about. I'm a big Adidas guy. I know that it took me a couple months, even longer than that, still to try to switch you over to at least trying Adidas. And I do know that you bought some Yeezys, you got some Ultra Boost, some NMDs. I know you get to go back to being a Nike guy, which I know is your thing, which I know you would always hassle me about. How excited are you about that? And if you can, Tony's got a nice pair of Dunks on right now. I'm wearing Ultra Boost, obviously, but I know you're excited about that. We joke a lot about that. I know you're fired up. So tell me a little bit about that too.
Yeah, no, definitely excited. The Adidas has been good to us. It was different for me, but I've already, if I haven't packed anything else, I've got a couple sneakers in mind, that I'm taking with me. So a couple pairs of my Jordans are definitely making the trip, and I'm excited. I'm excited to be putting my Nikes back on.
I did tell Tony I expect some Alabama gear, which I know is in compliance and there's no rule breaking going on there, but just know that we're always here for you. If you could give one message to the kids that you worked with, past and present, because you have seen a couple classes graduate, if you could give them one message about their journey here at Catholic Central and what you want them to understand about being young men, what would that be?
Wow, man, you got deep with this interview and
exactly.
questions,
House of
man.
Hammers, that's what we do.
Oh, man, I think number one is just be conscious of, how you treat people. It doesn't matter the position, what they look like, where they're from. but just be conscious of how you treat people. Continue to work hard. Number one, keep God first. Just be a good person, and things just kind of naturally take care of themselves. So that would be the biggest things. Number one, keep God first, work hard, and just be conscious of how you treat people. You never know, the different opportunities, that will be afforded to you, just from people just liking you, and seeing how you interact with other people. I tell people all the time, that ask, when I was, how'd you end up at Alabama? How were you at Michigan? I'm like, look, Coach Harbaugh recruited me in 2008, 2009 when he was at Stanford. I didn't play for Coach Harbaugh, but he saw something in me, at 16, 17 years old, so later down the road when I was, entering the workforce and wanted to get back into college football, he still saw me as someone that, he'd want, as part of his staff, and he afforded me that opportunity. And then, fast forward to now me going to Alabama, this was, they're part of a staff that, I worked with for 3 months, at Michigan. So, but luckily, in that 3 months of time, they saw something in me that made them decide, that they wanted to continue working with me, even now. So you just never know, who can help you, later down the road, and, where your paths may cross. So just be a good person, and do the right thing. So that would be, my best advice.
I talk about leading with love, and I think that's no secret with people, and Tony's the exact same way. And to wrap up the first episode of the House of Hammers, Tony, I tell you this endlessly, and I'm not afraid to say it, I think part of being a man in today's world is to be a little bit vulnerable, but I love you as a friend, as a mentor, even though I'm considerably older than you. But you've helped me grow as a person and so many people here, so we're really proud of you, and I wish nothing but the best for you. And I told you yesterday on the phone when you were at the dentist, just know that you can keep coming back to this place. You're always part of our family. You're a Shamrock through and through. I know you bled Valiant Blue and Peerless White, and I know you're taking that with you. So on behalf of Detroit Catholic Central, the athletic director, Aaron Babicz, a proud alum, just know that we love you and that we want you to come back to this place because you're a huge part of our culture, whether you're here or whether you're in Alabama. So we really appreciate everything you did for our young men in our community.
Man, you trying to make me cry, man. No, but I appreciate that. Means a ton. It means a ton to me. I appreciate, everything that you've done for me. This community's definitely embraced me, as one of your own. So I definitely, I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate everything that you guys have done for me. And I'll be back. So thank you again.
Now that we got that on film, we're going to hold them to it. But that's exactly what we're talking about and what we're trying to showcase in this series. And I think you can see why we let off with one of the biggest hammers in the school. And like I said, Tony, we love you. Get ready for episode 2, and we got to keep hammering together. The only way through is forward together. And that's the only way that there is, to lead with love, to keep God first, and to just be good people to each other. That's the easiest message that we can convey through this series, and to put good people around these young men and around each other as adults. So once again, welcome to the House of Hammers, and we continue to hammer together.